Hello everyone, welcome live to 3Y TV tonight's broadcast of this GTR Simulator Superspeedway series here on the channel. The National Sim Racing Association is back at Monza Oval, but this time we'll be turning right. That's right. If you were expecting to turn left, you're wrong. It's right tonight. I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth here tonight, special guest JT Poole. JT, great to be here at Monza Left Turning Oval. Going to be a lot of fun to see these drivers turn right tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm a little sad I had to miss out on this race. This is one that I was looking forward to. But these guys, they're looking like they have a lot to work with here today. It's a very difficult truck to try and get used to. The setup's meant to be turning left, but they're trying to turn right. So I think this is shaping up to be a good race.
Yeah, definitely. It's shaping up to be a good race. There is the number 28 machine, Evan Gilbert, working his way around the racetrack right there. Garrett Gleason in the number 7 machine also right there. Let's see if we can go on board with the number 7 of Garrett Gleason. Some artistic looks around Monza right turning oval as he heads down the front stretch. He's actually just now completing his first timed lap in the number 7 Thornton Grafix machine. Of course, it is the MaxGraphics.co 145 here tonight, presented by Total Nonstop Racing, TNR. Of course, we broadcast Total Nonstop Racing on Monday nights here on 3Y TV. And Garrett Gleason, who we ride on board with right now, is the league owner and administrator of the Total Nonstop Racing League. And of course, the league owner and administrator of the National Sim Racing Association, Christopher Darling, not in the field here tonight, but he is, of course, the man behind MaxGraphics.co. They leave off the M because who has time for M? MaxGraphics.co. There is a link in the description of the video here tonight. It looks like Colin Ullery right there. He is pulling his machine off the racetrack. Evan Gilbert coming off the racetrack. There's Kyle Lewis, and a bit surprised here. Kyle Lewis, we usually see him close to the top of the charts here in this particular series, but as of right now, the number 18 machine is not up near the top of the board. So we'll bring up the top 5 times for you up there. And JT, right now it looks like John Cannizzaro, Colin Ullery, and Steven Doziak, your top 3.
Yeah, right now, SimSots Racing, they look really fast. They have that front row locked up, and then Doziak and Victor, they've always they've held their ground in this league, and then Mitchell Adams in 5th. He's always very fast. Those SimSots trucks, they always seem to show up, and I think tonight with a track like this, I think it's really going to help out drivers like Mitchell Adams and Andrew Himmelman. So
let's just make sure everything is going on well in the chat. We'll definitely be keeping our eyes on those SimShots machine here tonight, that's for sure. Garrett Gleason saying not going to miss much. CD had the right idea to run Xfinity cars. JT is in the booth. That's right. JT is better than Mike Joy per JT. You can't say that about yourself, JT. It doesn't count. Garrett Gleason saying, yeah, well, yeah, right. Garrett Gleason saying not interested in making a lap. Garrett, dude, you have to make a lap. This race is presented by Total Nonstop Racing League, but it does look like John Cannizzaro will be the driver who will be starting on the pole here tonight. We'll see if we can bring up the qualifying results here in just a brief moment for all you folks back at home, because it is indeed John Cannizzaro and Colin Ullery picking up that front row start between them. Steven Doziak, Jeffrey Vickery on row number 2. Mitchell Adams, Stephen Ford, row number 3. Evan Gilbert, John Doble rounding out your front 4 rows, and rounding out your top 10 here tonight, William Kirwan Jr., who needs a good points night here tonight, up near the points lead with Kyle Lewis rounding out your top 10 there, JT.
Yeah, and 11th, Andrew Himmelman. It says I'm in 12th, but as you can tell, I'm not racing tonight. 13th, we have Travis White, and 14th, Mike Tellier. Behind them, Doug Neal and Garrett Gleason. And then Matthew Rodriguez and Jason Hsu, 17th and 18th. And rounding out your field at 19th, Shane Ledoux.
Yeah, so that will be the 18 trucks, because, of course, JT, you're not down there on the starting grid. In fact, everyone is going to have to wait for that iRacing timer to go to 0 before we can get these things all wound up. And I'm sure there are some drivers out there with me thinking, you know what, let's just see if we can get a lap in here under caution and get to the green flag. Last time we were here at left turning oval, the left turning version of this exact same track, we didn't even get to see the green flag before cars were upside down. So hopefully we can avoid that here tonight. And John Cannizzaro, Colin Ullery, folks, if you're listening, John or Colin, or both of you, just stay a little bit more towards the center of the racetrack than you normally would, just to try and avoid things. I think everyone would probably be happy if we can make it all to the green flag here tonight. But definitely going to be a lot of fun here tonight. We have seen, we were talking about this in the pre-race, JT, that they didn't quite get the setup right for this right-turning version of this racetrack. Tell the people at home watching about it.
Yeah, so this setup, it's made for Talladega, and the way the camber is set up, which is the angle of the tires, it's angled so it can maximize the speed at when it's turning left. But when you put these cars turning right, the car wants to turn left. So you'll see a lot of tire wear on the inside of the tire because the right side of the tire will be completely off the ground in the banking. It's going to be a very, very tough race for all these drivers.
Yeah, so I think the big question is going to be, will we see some tires blow out? Because with the camber of the front right being the opposite of what it should be, it should have positive camber. I don't think that these drivers are going to last all too long without having to come down and take on tires. Typically, when we're on these ovals, they can go many laps without having to take tires. But here, I'm sure a lot of drivers will have that in the back of their mind of whether or not they will prematurely blow a right front tire because of the camber issue. We will wait and see. In fact, we have a special camera here tonight just to kind of show that. Here we go, looking outside. Now, somehow, somewhere, we're going to have to retract this camera once we go back green, but this is on board with John Cannizzaro. And look at that right front tire. You see how it's bowed in? Well, typically, you see that right front tire bowed in when you're turning left because it gives the tire a little bit extra grip in the corner. Well, here, it's bowed inwards when it really should be bowed out a little bit. So that's what's going to cause a lot of wear on the inside patch of the right front tire, and similarly all other tires, although it seems like the right front, I mean, look at it there, JT. It looks like it's a level almost with horizontal, with vertical actually up in the sky when he's in the middle of the corners. That can't be good for that right front tire. It'd be almost like we're driving on three wheels tonight. Right,
so usually the right side is supposed to be more flat than the left side, so you can kind of make up for that time loss as we see the pace car take that right-hand turn to the safety of pit road. We're side by side in the restart zone. We're about to go green, Peter.
Yeah, that iRacing pace car down pit road. Field is in the hands of John Cannizzaro, who picked up tonight's BAM Auto Pole Award. Link in the description to the BAM Auto page. If you need some car work done, make sure you check them out in the great state of Michigan. But here we go, off into turn number one for the first time here tonight. And Cannizzaro, Ullery lead us through turn number one. Look at Mitchell Adams down there on the inside line. He wanted to race this race.
In the wall.
Someone in the wall back there.
Vickery in the 14 machine of, I believe, that is Stephen Ford, are both in the wall.
Well, it looks like they're able to keep on going. The threat level midnight machines now halfway down the back stretch. There you go. You see them, Vickery and Ford right there, the 21 and the 14, the two teammates working together, currently being scored in 8th and 9th as they run. Here we go through turn number 3 and 4. It seems odd to call this turn number 3 and 4 as they turn right, but indeed they are. Up at the front of the field is still John Cannizzaro. Look at them all jump out of that big jump that's right there coming out of turn number 4. And now they all fan out here on the front stretch.
Yeah, that battle up front is getting real intense. They're not really giving each other lots of room, which you can't give each other lots of room. This track is very narrow. As they get really tight, the three of John Doble into the wall. He's able to keep it off, but that second pack, they're starting to close in. Yeah, looking out back right now off of John Cannizzaro. He was your BAM Auto Pole Award winner, led lap number 1. But here comes Mitchell Adams in the number 49 machine up here in the 3-wide TV booth very often. As looks like Colin Ullery might have picked up a little bit of the grass down the backstretch. That is often the case here. Now we fan out once again in turn number 3 and 4, trying to hold it too wide, but it's difficult to hold it too wide here because of the fact that there's not a lot of banking down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. No, it's very flat, but it's actually able to be used a little bit because you can kind of hook that yellow line, and there's a little bit of grip on that paint. As you see a huge run from John Doble on the outside, he's going to be to the outside of Colin Ullery into 1. But you can kind of use that bottom to your advantage, but I think the preferred lane when you're all by yourself is that outside. But if you want to make a pass, you want that inside. As John Noble gets in the wall again.
Yeah, John Noble really struggling with that outside wall here in the early running. But it's a long race here tonight, 55 laps around Monza Oval. Definitely, if you can stay green flag, the laps really click off pretty quickly. As you see, Evan Gilbert looks like he's got a little bit of a right side, excuse me, left side scrape. I'm used to saying right side scrape on these trucks because, of course, they typically turn left, but he's got a left side scrape. And that number 28 machine there running in the 4th position as, again, they fan out here on the front stretch. And what I found about this racetrack here, JT, really your front stretch is your best opportunity to make a pass, at least line up a pass, because once you get to the corners, it gets very tight. And you see John Noble again smack the wall through turn number 1 and 2.
Yeah, the front straightaway, the back straightaway is really going to be your friend for passing, but once you get into the turns and you'll occasionally see these guys get through wide, it gets very, very tight. And you know, you'll see some guys starting to back out, but there's numerous guys, including me, that just don't want to back out. And they'll go side by side, maybe even 3 wide through the turns, and usually at a track like this, it just won't end well.
Yeah, you got a couple of trucks. Here we go, coming at the camera right here, running down all the way below that yellow line, at least on entry into turn number 1 and 2. And now they have to be really careful coming onto the front stretch because of that big jump. You see all those trucks get a little bit squirrely. Look at the Steven Doziak. He jumped all the way down to almost hitting the inside wall. That is the pit entrance wall down there, and able to keep things going. We're now on lap number 5. We've been caution free here. Of course, that's probably the commentator's curse. We'll probably see a caution flag upcoming here very, very quickly as that tends to happen. We have had a couple of cars drop off the back of the field, including the number 23, Travis White, the number 7 of Garrett Gleason, as well as the number 78 machine. That is driven by Doug Neal. So those 3 trucks all by their lonesome out there, and with the way they're racing up at the front of the field, that might be a smart move if we have the big one here soon.
Yeah, Himmelman's, I just want to point out, he's already made his way up to 7th. He's trying to get his way up to the front with the SimShots teammates. John Noble once again in the wall, and Colin O'Leary as well.
Yeah, you see everyone fanning out, trying to avoid Colin O'Leary. He's in that SimShots number 62 machine right there at the center of your screen right now. And you can see he lost quite a few positions. He started up there in the 2nd position. He's fallen 7 spots from the drop of the green flag right now, but Mitchell Adams in the number 49 as you got a look there of the road course. Oh, contact! Evan Gilbert's around. Andrew Himmelman's involved. Big wreck out back. And Steven Doziak's involved. Doziak goes up and over. Mike Floppy Tellier involved late. Evan Gilbert, this is the big one already here early on, taking out a good portion of the field.
Yeah, you'll see a bunch of those guys use a fast repair. If they can even get back to pit lane, we see Himmelman, he's still parked. I wonder if he can get that car started. Doziak very injured. He's trying to limp that thing back to pit road. Tellier looks like he doesn't have too much damage, but obviously I'm sure there's something internal that's going to affect his car. Vickery looks like he's got a little bit of right front damage, just a big wreck that you can almost see coming the way these cars are handling.
Yeah, let's see what happened up here. It happened up around Evan Gilbert in his number 28 machine. I think we're going to have to use this camera. Does he go up? And I think he goes up to try and block Jeffrey Vickery right there, and Vickery was definitely there. And unfortunately, there's the contact, and we'll play it here in full speed. You see everyone start to get all collected up into the mess. Look at Steven Doziak doing aerobatics. Track completely blocked there, full of smoke. Hard to see. Here comes Doug Neal in the 77 coming into picture, bottom left. He just says, I'm going to slow down. He pretty much comes to a stop. There's Jason Shue, who had some late race unfortunate events last time we were here at Monza. If you guys didn't see that race from last time we were here at Monza, you definitely gotta. It is definitely one of the best moments, I think, here on 3-Wide TV history. Let's go on board here with the gyro cam going the wrong direction here tonight. This is on board with Steven Doziak, and he gets turned up into the wall, and there's those aerobatic maneuvers down the back stretch. Unfortunately, he's definitely going to have to use a fast repair here.
Yeah, well, the good thing is for Evan Gilbert is we can't be giving out EOLs tonight because there is currently a bug on iRacing where if you hand an EOL, that EOL will stay with the driver for the entirety of the race. So Gilbert won't be getting a penalty, but I think his penalty right now is that damaged truck. But he has that fast repair, and he's going down pit lane with what looks like the rest of the field, and I'm sure a lot of those drivers are going to be get some damage repaired.
Yeah, you see everyone coming down pit road right now, and folks, bear with us. Unfortunately, the that's about the best pit road angle we're going to have here tonight. Is there might have been a little bit of contact further back in the pack. It looks like William Kirwan, the number 52, going to win the race off pit road. Travis White stayed out. We saw him flash on by, but yeah, the pit road angles are just not great here tonight. In fact, let me see if I can fix this one. Here, I'll just kind of hold on to it here for a moment and rotate it around. Yeah, I'll tell you what, definitely going to be kind of interesting to see exactly how this all works out here and whether or not some of these drivers decided to come down and get tires, because that's something that we kind of expected to see early on here, Mitchell, because of the issue with the tire camber, yeah, the right front tire camber.
Yeah, and looking at pit road, it looks like many of those drivers that were involved in that crash were in their stalls for pretty long, so I think some of them were saving that faster repair for later and hoping that their damage wasn't too major. But looking at Doug Neal, I don't think he had too much damage in that crash, but he's just waiting in pit road so it can be at the back of the field. But yeah, definitely a crash that you could tell was coming, and Gilbert, he thought he had a gap, and then by the time he decided to commit to that move, the 12 was already up there.
Yep, that is the case. So I'm just trying to fix this camera so we can actually see what is going on for all the people back at home. And I'll tell you what, I think that's a little bit better look, and just trying to see what's going on pit road. But anyway, let's go see what is going on up at the front of the field. I did mention Travis White, the number 23 Simbox machine, did stay out. We do have a couple of drivers here still on pit road. Mike Floppy Tellier is one of those. He's just now rolling. Jeffrey Fickery is still on pit road, and the number 21 Steven Doziak Jr. has fallen a lap down, as has Andrew Himmelman.
Doziak is actually disconnected with a packet loss failure.
Oh, okay. So that's the reason why Doziak's fallen a lap down. But Himmelman, he had to take a tow back to pit road, and looks like he's just now rolling out. So he will be one lap down. Doziak having connection troubles. That is unfortunate for Steven. Hopefully he can get back into the session, back out there on the racetrack here in the next couple of laps or so. Hopefully he doesn't lose any more laps. But there is Andrew Himmelman in a brand new truck using his one and only fast repair here, and they can be a saving grace here in this series. JT, I know you yourself have used quite a few fast repairs, being involved in the big ones, you know. How does it change your mindset now that you've used your one fast repair here early in the going?
Yeah, so the trickiest thing is just, deciding on if you want to use your fast repair or not. So, sometimes you'll get in a wreck and you'll think that it's not that bad of damage, but your car will be completely destroyed, so you have to go back around and use that fast repair. But once you use it on, so like this early of a race, like lap 9 of 55, you really just either gotta hope that nobody crashes, or you gotta get to the front and hope nobody crashes you. Because usually the safest spots are either at the very front or at the very back.
Yeah, that is very much the case. I have been there myself many, many times here in sim racing throughout the years. So anyway, let's see what's going on in the chat right now. Let's see how you guys are doing. James Casterline in the chat saying they swerve around in those turns like a bobsled. Yeah, they do. That is very true. Steven Doziak Jr. saying, well, folks, Steven, don't give up. Get back out there on the racetrack. You got plenty of time to make it up there, bud. So we'll see. Hopefully these drivers can get back out there and going. So Steven, let us know if you're unable to reconnect. I think you have, though. Let me just see. Nope, you have not reconnected. So I don't know. It might be night done for driver of the number 55 machine who went spiraling through the sky in the first caution flag we have had here tonight. Ben Adams saying this looks so weird. It does, doesn't it, Ben? We're going the wrong direction. JT with the big brain. Good job, JT, alongside me. And Tana Himmelman saying Andrew's twin brother had a baseball game tonight, so I'm tardy to the party. We don't accept people tardy to the party, Tana. We just don't do that here on 3Y TV because the party begins when you get here. That's what we have to say. King Crop Vod saying, let's go Gilbert in the number 28 machine. Of course, he'll have to come from the back using his fast repair after being involved in that accident. So, Garrett Gleason saying, I left a message for Johnny on my driver bio if it updated. Okay, well, we'll find out. We'll try and see your hidden message of the week, Garrett. Johnny Williams saying, let's go Kyle Lewis, and hello to the booth. How's it going, Johnny? Of course, JT Poole joining me in the booth here tonight. Thanks for stopping in, JT. And did you just see that? I think someone took out one of the foam boards, and it finally fell off their truck there in turn number 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, you know, like me, I love hitting the blue cone. I don't think there's a blue cone on this track, but they have foam boards, so you gotta hit something.
Yeah, you gotta hit something here. You know, we know that you're the quintessential cone killer here in the National Sim Racing Association. You will probably see you kill some cones tomorrow night because right here on 3Y TV's Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series regular season finale. It's a cutoff race for the playoffs tomorrow night, so you're going to want to tune in for that. Speaking of the points, though, let's talk about the points here in this series, the GTR Simulator Superspeedway series, because up at the top of the standings, Matthew Rodriguez, even though he has 2 less starts than Colin Ullery, he is now your points leader by 3 points over Colin Ullery. William Kirwan took a big hit last week. He came into last week as your points leader, but did not have a great finish. He's now 13 points behind Matthew Rodriguez, so that's why William Kirwan needs a good night here tonight. I think he might have got a little piece of that accident, so I don't know if he used his fast repair or not, but that's something to keep our eye on throughout the rest of the night. Matthew Rodriguez was way back. He was able to slow up and avoid the carnage on that one. But hopefully we don't have any more carnage, but the pace car is about to head down pit road, and we're about to go back green here, JT.
Yeah, they're side by side. Travis White, he's already made himself up into the lead. He gets a very nice jump out the line. And the SimShots teammates, Mitchell Adams and John Canizero, side by side as they race into 1. Then throughout the field, it's very spread out. I think a lot of guys electing to just take it easy into turn 1 and try and ride there for the rest of the race.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not that happens, but up at the front of the field, doesn't look like we have much riding going on right now, as it looks like Travis White under fire by Mitchell Adams. Adams with a little bit of help from the number 62, Colin Ullery, right back behind him. Evan Gilbert, remember, he was involved in that accident under just a couple of laps ago. He's now up in the mix once again, up there in the 5th position. So we got to keep our eyes on the number 28 machine. We know he's fast. We know he's one of those drivers here, JT, who does not like to hold back. He wants to go for the win here tonight, and he's going to have a lot of fun out there on the racetrack. As you can see, 2 distinct groups form on the racetrack right now. Yeah,
a bunch of these guys up front, they never want to back out. As we see a side-by-side battle for the lead as we race into 1. Mitchell Adams deciding to follow Travis White instead of his teammate. Maybe he wasn't clear of Evan Gilbert as they race into 1. As Travis White gets an incredible run on the bottom there, and Mitchell Adams follows. I think they're starting to find something to work a little bit on the bottom, but you'll see Canizero get a nice run out of 2, and if he gets the help he needs, he might be able to clear Travis White for the lead.
Yeah, so Travis White on the inside. On his outside is John Canizaro, who did pick up the Bam Auto Pole Award at the top of the show. But look at who is now in second. That is Evan Gilbert, the number 28 machine. Looks like Mitchell Adams there throwing some sparks for the camera right there. But look at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, folks. You got on the bottom side, just about to the start-finish line right now. That's where your leaders are. But then you have another group, William Kirwan, leading, I was going to say leading, not really leading, all by his lonesome. There is Kirwan in the number 52 machine. Does have Andrew Himmelman right back behind him, but caution.
18, Kyle Lewis, front straightaway.
I see that. Jason Shue involved as well. I was just trying to see who that was, and luckily we had the little track map up because I could see the little stopped cars out there. Let's see if we can figure out what's going to bring out this second caution flag of the night. And we're looking a little bit further back. This is with Jason Shue. So keep our eye on that blue and purple machine. And, contact with the number 21 machine. And, 18. And, bam. Boom. Upside down. Jason Shue and Matthew Rodriguez got a piece of that one as well. So let's see if we can break that one, kind of sort that one out here. Let's go to the blimp cam. And, the blimp cam's not a very good cam. It's a long angle shot, unfortunately. And, yep, you can't see anything on that shot. Okay, let's see if we can dial up another one. Okay, here we go. Let's try this one. There's initial contact. 18 hard into the wall. Comes back across. Bam. And Matthew Rodriguez just got clipped. Yeah, man. Rodriguez has quite a bit of damage. We know Rodriguez, he's your points leader entering into tonight. He's going to want to have a good night. He's going to have to get that machine repaired. Let's see if we can go on board with him right here, on board with the Steak and Shake Steak Burgers machine. Watch this all unfold right in front of him. Boom. And then just barely getting caught. Unfortunately, the wall's right there, JT.
Yeah, I picked up a little bit of left side damage, but honestly won't hurt him too much, but probably help him and get a little bit of that, really needed downforce on that left side of the truck today.
The only thing I can think of, and we're going to have to go back and I think really slow this down when we dial up this replay, because here we go, we're in quarter speed here on the 3-wide TV slow-mo. I don't know why the 18 was so far off the pace relative.
I was watching him and it looked like he was almost taking it easy, and then he got on the yellow line trying to maybe rejoin the track right in front, but he just misjudged it and then got hit behind from the 21.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like the 21 had a high closing speed in his truck. So I just don't know. Look at Mike Floppy Tellier, the number 97. We think the Mike might have had all that damage from the first accident here tonight, and he tried to get it fixed. We'll see whether or not he elects to use a fast repair under this caution flag. But unfortunately, 3 fast trucks tore up, including your points leader there, Matthew Rodriguez. And I think the big question is going to be, did Rodriguez have to use a fast repair under the first caution flag of the night? Here we go. We got drivers on pit road right now. We'll see how those drivers come off. Here we go. Here's John Canizaro. He will win the race off pit road. Then Mitchell Adams, Jason Shue there using his fast repair. Then Colin O'Leary. Here comes John Doble. Here's William Kirwan. Kirwan's probably excited to see how that all went down. Then we have a bunch of trucks sticking on pit road. I think these are probably trucks back there getting damage fixed, including Jeffrey Vickery in the number 21 machine. He's on pit road. His teammate Stephen Ford's on pit road. Travis White's on pit road. Mike Floppy Tellier's on pit road getting damage fixed. Doug Neal, Garrett Gleason, Matthew Rodriguez getting damage fixed as well. Not using a fast repair. Or maybe, JT, maybe Matthew Rodriguez has already used his fast repair.
That might have been the case. I don't believe he was in that first caution. I might be just, might have that bad memory. But you can also see Travis White, who I believe was your leader. He's finally leaving his pit stall, but he was coasting backwards in his stall. So I wonder if he had to get up from his sim and take a bathroom break, or he was just able to keep that car getting repaired while rolling backwards. Woman now leaving his stall.
Yeah, he
from
is
Fayetteville, Tennessee.
Yeah, he's our JR's Mobile Detailing lucky dog under this caution. So he will be back on the lead lap in the number 8 Sim Shots machine. He was involved in that first accident, had to take a tow back to pit road. And when that happened, very lengthy stop, fell down a lap, and now he's back on the lead lap. And just how liberating is it to be back on the lead lap there, JT?
It's so rewarding, especially when you're already a lap down. I remember the Phoenix race last year on the Friday night series. I went down many laps. I think it was about 6 laps, and by the end of the race, I was able to get on the lead lap, and I got a top 10 finish out of it. It feels so good to finally feel like you're racing people again, and feel like you still have a chance at that win.
Yeah, of course, when you're a lap down and you're in the JR's Mobile Detailing lucky dog spot, you're just crossing your fingers, hoping that caution flag comes out. You're hoping it's not you, but you realize you're in that spot. You're just waiting for that caution flag to come out. And finally, when that caution flag comes out, you're back on the lead lap. You can go race. So, yep, definitely someone's killing the foam boards because, everyone's just mowing it down there before iRacing resets it. We're looking out back of your race leader. That's the number 28 machine of Evan Gilbert. Did not elect to come down pit road under this caution flag. In fact, we'll bring up the graphic down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Evan Gilbert, the only driver in the top 10 who did not come down pit road. John Canizaro, Mitchell Adams, Colin O'Leary, everyone on back pitted on lap number 14. Evan Gilbert says, you know what, I want the track position. So he's going to stay out, lead a lap here in his North Central Media machine, Toyota. Now coming down the back stretch. And we will be going green flag here in just about half a lap from right now. Thanks for everyone joining us in the chat here on 3Wide TV. Make sure to post a link on Facebook. Let your friends know. Mark Poole in the chat here tonight. Mark, thanks for joining in. Kyle Lewis saying flat out got wrecked. So Kyle saying, nope, I wasn't taking it any easy in the number 18 machine. Garrett Gleason saying, I caused the damage on the number 97 on the restart. Garrett, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Mark Poole saying, Nashville is awesome. JT, what do you think of Nashville?
Nashville's incredible. It's a great city. I was very happy to finally be back. The last time we went was before COVID, right before COVID, probably a month before everything went into quarantine. It just felt so good to be back in Tennessee.
Yeah, well, definitely a place to go on my bucket list. And John Cannizzaro, quite rightfully, pointing out at the front of the field that he's in a Mopar Chevrolet. Those things don't really go together. If you know, Mopar is a Dodge thing and Chevrolet is not a Dodge thing. So anyway, we'll leave that aside. Green flag is back out. Look at Evan Gilbert, the number 28 machine, as the field fans out. Shane Ledoux there, number 12 machine. Ooh, connection issues there on John Doble, but he's back there on the racetrack. Good news as they head off into turn number 1.
Yeah, Travis Wright lost a lot of track position that I think is very important here, as we see John Cannizzaro taking a look to the outside of Evan Gilbert. He has help behind from his teammate Mitchell Adams.
Yeah, so Cannizzaro on the high line, getting that help that you mentioned. Going to blow on by Evan Gilbert here as Cannizzaro back to the race lead. Picked up the Bamautogarage Pole Award at the beginning of the show. But here comes Mitchell Adams. Mitchell says, you know what? I want to lead the race as well. You see a little bit of left side damage on Mitchell Adams' number 49 machine. Again, not used to this whole right turning thing. Can do it on road courses. Can't do it on right ovals. My head's backwards. But I'm sure a lot of these drivers are, as you could see a little bit of airtime there for Evan Gilbert as John Doble pops up. Connection issues again for the number 3 machine. And JT, you've raced around other drivers who've had connection issues. Every driver's had connection issues themselves. How difficult is it for when you race around those cars not knowing where they are, especially on a track like this, which is very bumpy and pretty tight, close quarters?
It's one of the scariest things because they know where everyone else is, but you don't know where they are. So the easiest thing to do is just back up. But say this was like 2 to go, you got to keep your foot down. And sometimes they'll just reappear inside your car and it will cause all these problems. But the worst is when you're the one having connection issues, because then the best thing to do is just pull off and let everyone go, so you can keep the race alive and know you can come back later in the race. But it's definitely one of the scarier feelings because you just don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, well, here we are on lap number 18, still a long way away from the halfway mark. John Doble again having connection issues there on the right-hand side of the screen. We're looking at Travis White here side by side with Colin Ullery off into turn number 1. You see them just dance over the bumps here at Monza. And I don't think people realize just how bumpy this track is. I mean, they see these trucks kind of dancing around, but here we go on board with Travis White. He's going to think about taking it 3 wide, go all the way down to the grass that's down there on the inside of the racetrack, but I think he wisely backed out of it there to prevent 3 wide, which is not going to work out with all these bumps.
No, back to the bumps. This track hasn't been used for decades, and when iRacing scanned it, it had been abandoned for so long. So this track, nobody upkeeps it. It was all it's all nobody cared about it, and so it was just, it's such a historic site. So iRacing just they had to scan it. And it's one of the most fun tracks on iRacing, but it's definitely one of the most difficult to try and to learn and to get right. And once you do it a couple times, you kind of learn where the bumps are, and you can kind of expect what to do in those situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting word last time by, fastest lap of the entire race for driver of the number 8 machine. That is the Sim Shots machine back on the lead lap. Thank you to JR's Mobile Detailing with their Lucky Dog Award. But Andrew Himmelman ran a 49.98 second lap, which is the fastest lap of the race. Colin Ullery also ran a 51.0. So, actually, no, take that back. It was his best lap of the race, a 51.0, Colin Ullery. But that is more than a second slower than Andrew Himmelman. That number 8 machine was on an absolute tear last time. He's caught the lead pack here in that SimShot Chevrolet.
Yeah, the fastest is usually at the back where, all the guys ahead of you, they're in a trained-up draft. You're that very last car. And you can see it in the real-life races at the Superspeedway. It's usually the guy in the back. You see Evan Gilbert getting the wall. It gets very close to that left rear quarter panel of Travis White. It's very weird to say left rear quarter panel after getting in the wall, but he's able to corral it. He's now falling back a lot. He's down to around that 8th and 9th spot as he's side-by-side racing down the backstretch. But, it's such a tricky thing to get used to.
Yeah, and just dancing over these bumps and trying to find that space on this particular racetrack. I mean, you can see Travis White didn't want to give a lot of room to Mitchell Adams there going off in through turn number 3 and 4, but he had to. He decided to come down, give him a little bit more room. You just don't want to end up in an accident here. You want to, if you're going to get involved in an accident here, you might as well leave it till late. That's what I'm going to say. But John Cannizzaro is your race leader. Colin Willery in second. Travis White, the number 23 machine, back behind him. Mitchell Adams looking to the inside in the number 49. We go single file now for pretty much your front 12 or so trucks. There's Mike Floppy Taylor now. He's used a faster pair. Matthew Rodriguez behind him. And Rodriguez, you see that left side damage on the number 57 Toyota Tundra, but doesn't seem to be hurting him all too much here, JT, because he's able to keep with the lead pack. Then we have Garrett Gleason in the number 7. He's running with Jason Shue, but you can see Garrett is quite a ways back. Doesn't look like any major damage on the number 7 machine. You see a little bit on the back bumper there. It's got emblazoned with sim shots. He's running, like I said, with Jason Shue, but Shue is a couple laps down. He had to take a tow in that last accident. Currently in the position for the JR's Mobile Detailing Lucky Dog Award, Kyle Lewis, the number 18, has taken it to the garage, unfortunately, as has Steven Doziak Jr. having that connection issues. But back at the front, we're racing hard once again up here inside the top 5.
Yeah, Travis White, he's one of those drivers where he doesn't give you much room. He doesn't ever back down. He's no surprise that he's found his way already back at the front. We saw him restart around that 13th position there. That last restart, he's sitting right now in that 5th spot, and Andrew Himmelman right behind him. But when you look at this top 6, 4 of the top 6 are all sim shot drivers, and I think that teamwork and being able to just take the runs you get and just try and pull yourself away from the pack behind is definitely going to be an easy way to kind of pull away from all those guys that you don't want to not work with them, but just it's getting rid of another factor into taking away your victory.
Yeah, here we are on board with Andrew Himmelman, 185 miles an hour. This is just like iRacing Superspeedway, folks. There's no restrictor plate on this racetrack. Absolutely none. Yeah, you're only really limited by the truck bottoming out all over the place and the lack of grip that you have through these corners and just how much wheel input that you have to put into it. But 192 miles an hour going off into turn number 3 right there. So, a little bit of contact between Evan Gilbert and Travis White. White bouncing off the outside wall, and again contact between the two. They're trading paint between the 23 and the 28. Oh, there we go! And contact, and 28 machine going around. Oh, Ledoux is involved back there as well. My goodness, this will bring out the caution flag.
Doug Neal also got a piece of that. His front end is pretty beat up, but you could almost see that coming. They were banging doors all the way through 3 and 4, and just eventually try to side draft. It was a little too much.
So let's see if we can see what went down coming out of the corner. There might have been a little bit of net code there, unfortunately, but Evan Gilbert goes around. Shane Ledoux goes heavy into the wall. William Kirwan, 3rd place in points, gets involved, and all of the threat level midnight trucks getting involved in that one. And William Kirwan's engine has grenaded. The number 52 machine, that could be, what is the term that they use in the NSRA? Championship Incas, I believe? Incas. And speaking of Incas, Andrew Himmelman just barely got past that. That could be a championship changing moment right there. So let's see what happened to 3rd place in points. Go on board with him right here. William Kirwan trying to slow down and just bam, straight into the back of Evan Gilbert. You also saw that chartreuse number 77 of Doug Neal get involved. Let's see if we can get an on board with Doug Neal here and see what all happened. Here we go, on board with Doug Neal. We'll get to see all this carnage happen. There's Shane Ledoux right in front of him. And I believe Shane Ledoux, unfortunately, was in the wrong place at the wrong time because it was his teammate there of Jeffrey Vickery who kind of started to pinch him. There you see the 21 start to come down. Ledoux went down to block, and they just go down straight to the wall. Doug Neal, boom, straight into the spinning machine of Evan Gilbert. And I think Gilbert's night's done because I believe Gilbert was involved in the first caution flag of the night. So that is definitely going to be a tough break for them. And there you go. There is the threat level midnight trifecta with Ledoux, Ford, and also the number 21 of Jeffrey Vickery, who I don't think he got a whole lot in that number 21 truck, but definitely got a little bit of his teammate there. On pit road right now, is William Kirwan sitting in his pit box. And I'm afraid that that's night done, because if he had a faster pair, we would have already seen it, JT.
Yeah, that's one of the worst feelings in the world as a driver in this league, because you already used your faster pair and you're trying to sit at the back. Like William Kirwan, he was sitting at the back, but the track got clogged. There's nothing you can do in that situation, and when you're on the brakes and the entire track, you just know where to go. You know what's going to happen, and you just have to deal with it. You got to go on to next week. And him, I think he's third in points. He just got to focus on the remaining races and try and get that championship.
Yeah, that's right. And unfortunately for William Kirwan, his season started off so well. In fact, he won the race here at Monza when we did the left-turning version of this racetrack. He won that race by many, many seconds, all things considered. I think it was over 10 seconds with the last lap chaos that went down here. But unfortunately here tonight, not going to repeat that. It looks like day done for the driver of the number 52 machine. But that will be good news for the number 62 of Colin Ullery, who's currently second place in points entering tonight, as well as Matthew Rodriguez in the number 57. You see him right there. And I think the big question is going to be for Matthew Rodriguez is, does he still have a faster pair? Is he going to get that Toyota Tundra fixed at some point? It didn't seem to be affecting him a whole lot, but you can see that left side damage on that Steak and Shake Toyota Tundra. That might prevent him from winning the race, but as long as he can stay with the lead pack, that is plenty good, especially with one of his key contenders now on pit road, day done.
Yeah, you can see his left front if we can get a shot of that. It's pretty beat up, that hood. It's poking up a fair amount as he takes that duck into pit lane with John Noble and company. Looks like the SimShots guys electing to stay out. Maybe they think they can stretch it on fuel for that one last stop. Maybe even stay out for the rest of the race. But, it's the damage on a track like this, the Superspeedway, it's so aerodynamic and important. But the left rear, it seems to be somewhat fixed. The spoiler's good, but the left front, that's really what's going to affect all that front grip, which is really all you need at a track like this, which as much bumps as you had, where the splitter's just hitting the ground in, and it's trying to set the car up the track. But its damage doesn't look too bad. But we can see Colin Ullery, he's still in that front row as another pylon board goes flying off of, I believe, the hood of John Canizero.
Yeah, there is the number 49 machine of Mitchell Adams running up there near the front. Now, Doug Neal in the SimShots machine. Hopefully we can get a good look at him here as he flashes by the camera. So you can put a face to the name of Doug Neal there with the picture in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. There he goes. Looks like he's all patched up. Teammate Travis White right back behind him in the other SimShots machine. Then Jeffrey Vickery's up there inside the top 5. So there you see that number 21 truck right there on your screen. Shane Ledoux, his teammate, right back behind him. Of course, Ledoux was involved in that accident. Looks like he came down and used a faster pair, so that's the good news for him. But yeah, kind of a mixed bag of drivers coming down pit road. Some of them coming back down pit road, thinking maybe that they have an opportunity to save fuel and make it to the end of the race. With 30 laps to go, that'd be a stretch.
Right now, I'm thinking of what Doug Neal's going to do on this restart, because usually, so far today, he's kind of laid off and just, letting the rest of the field do what they want to do. But he's found himself up at the front. He has his teammate lined up right behind him. But we'll see what we do as we're approaching the restart zone as they come off of turn 4. They're stacked up, and we're about to go racing, Peter.
Yeah, they are stacked up. Doug Neal maybe given just a little bit of room out front on the number 62. Right there of Colin Ullery, kind of just laying back a little bit. Now he closes that gap as the iRacing pace car dives, and it really does dive here onto pit road. There's the green flag. That number 78, number 77 on the side, number 78 on the scoring pylon of Doug Neal. A little bit late on the gas as Colin Ullery going to slot in behind Mitchell Adams right here. We're right on board with the number 62 machine.
Yeah, it's a SimShots pull away right now, but Mitchell Adams wasting no time to go to the bottom. He's trying to get past his teammate John Canizero as they go side by side for the lead off of a turn 2. But it's pretty fanned out through the field. I wonder if these guys are going to try and work together to get back to the front. They're just going to sit single file and maybe try and save that fuel for the long run of this race.
Doug Neal going to give a big shot to the back bumper of Mitchell Adams. Look at that as we rode on board with him right there. But now he's got Jeffrey Vickery to his inside. Vickery able to slide up in front of Doug Neal. I'm a bit surprised Doug Neal decided to stick back behind that number 49 truck and not try to kind of pull out and go around him, but he decided against that and lost a spot in doing so As look at that big bump that they have coming out of the corner. Here's Mike Floppy Tellier a little bit further back in the pack. There you see the Intoxicated Gaming driver, as he, I believe, has been able to get all of his damage fixed. Yes, he does. The Flat Out Racing Network number 97 truck running just inside the top 10 in the 10th position right now, back at the back of this lead train of cars, which is 10 trucks strong. Canizaro, still your race leader. Colin Ullery, Mitchell Adams, still single file up at the front of the field. You see Matthew Rodriguez there, bottom of your, well, now left side of your screen, in his steak and shake machine, making me hungry. I'm very hungry. In fact, I haven't eaten dinner. And he has those delicious steak and shake shakes on the back of that truck. Always makes my mouth water. But up at the front, ooh, man, Colin Ullery almost taking out the wall. And there's a little flagman over there. I would not want to be that flagman if I was you.
It's a very scary spot to be sitting on a track with these trucks going over 190 miles an hour. But Doug Neal, he's gone past Jeffrey Vickery. Mitchell Adams, he seems to like that bottom line, but you know it starts to die out in the center of the corner because that high line, it just has more banking. They get a better run through center and on exit. But Vickery maybe he might have gotten a little loose there. He's fallen off a lot as Himmelman and Travis White go by him. He's gonna now pick up help from his teammate in the 14 machine. We've got single file here, Peter, and I'm just wondering if these guys are trying to save fuel so they can maybe get to the end here.
Maybe. I think might be a little bit of a stretch, but we'll wait and see. All right, we have a request in the chat to try and see the Garrett Gleason Secret Message of the Race Award. Not really award, but anyway. It says, after missing tonight's race, both Doze and Freeman are dead to me. That was last week's, Garrett. You haven't updated it, bud, or it hasn't updated itself. So, I mean, I think it's still true. Well, I mean, Doze didn't miss the race tonight. Doze was technically here, but now he's not. So, I mean, I think it still holds. I think they're still dead too. But unfortunately, I don't think it updated for the special message that Johnny Williams was supposed to be a part of. Meanwhile, back up the front, still Canizaro, Ullery, Mitchell Adams. We're top 3. As you see kind of the back half of the pack now getting a little bit strung out. Mike Floppy Tellier there in 9th. There's Jeffrey Vickery in 10th. He might have had a little bit of a moment there, JT, because he is now quite a ways back behind Mike Floppy Tellier. And that number 21 threat level Midnight Chevy doesn't look all too badly damaged. And then back behind him is Matthew Rodriguez, who has lost that lead pack. So that is not good news for your points leader entering in tonight. If things were to end right now, Colin Ullery would be the new points leader here in the GTR Simulator Super Speedway Series. And folks, now that we're past the halfway mark, why don't you check out GTR Simulators? There's a link in the description. Awesome sim rigs. They are top notch, and definitely something I have my eyes on. If you have a steering wheel or you want to get into sim racing and you want something that's a little bit more sturdy than just your computer desk, and you want to have something to mount stuff to, well, check out our friends over at GTR Simulators. GTR Sim is a code that you can use at checkout. A really great product, and I know a lot of these drivers here in the National Sim Racing Association have them, and they swear by them. So it's really awesome to have them on board this season here as we work all the way through turn number 1 and 2. It's awkward saying that's turn number 1 and 2, but sure enough it is. And now we're on the backstretch here, JT.
Yeah, and off of 4, maybe we can get a replay on that, but Himmelman made a power move to the outside of Doug Neal. There was barely any room for his truck, but he was able to find a gap, and he got a huge run. I think Mitchell Adams pulled him along on that outside, but we can see 1, 2, 3, and 4, all Sim Shots Racing's driver. That's going to be a very, very hard team to get past, but we can also see 5th and 6th, we have Doug Neal and Travis White, who are also teammates.
Yeah, here's that replay that you asked for. Himmelman just taking a slingshot to the high side around Doug Neal, and yeah, just able to get on by him and up into the 4th position. So Himmelman, who we have seen here tonight as Mitchell Adams dives to the inside on Colin Ullery. That's a little bit tight there through turn number 1 and 2. Now will Adams be able to slide up in front of Himmelman? No, he will not. So Himmelman with another strong run around the outside. He'll move himself up to 3rd. Looks like Adams able to slide up in front of Doug Neal. But for right now, here comes Himmelman. He says, you know what, I was about to say he's going to slide into 3rd for a moment, but he says, you know what, I'm going to try and go for the race lead, but he doesn't have anyone down there helping him, and he's going to have to slide back in behind Ullery.
Yeah, Hamilton made the smart move to back out there. You know, if he tried to work that bottom, you're just going to lose more spots than he was going to possibly gain. So he slots back on mine. He's going to take that third spot away. Mitchell Adams still in fourth. It's still that sim shots 1 through 4. They're always fast at these tracks. They're so good at working together, and it's so frustrating to try and get past these guys. I have amazing teammates, Max Grafix. They're incredibly fast guys, but these guys, they just know how to push and work together. They are so difficult to try and pass.
Yeah, so we're looking out back right now on Mitchell Adams' rear deck lid. That is, of course, Doug Neal there, Travis White, and Shane Ledoux running in 5th, 6th, and 7th. And then the 2 stragglers back there, Mike Floppy Tellier and John Doble. One thing we can report is, unfortunately for Jeffrey Vickery, as you see a big move by the number 23 machine, huge move by the number 23, Travis White, and whoa, he just pulls up in front of Mitchell Adams. That was tight because Andrew Himmelman in the number 8 machine, not sure what happened to him, but he started falling back. So Travis White there leapfrogs himself up into 3rd.
There was barely a gap there, and like I said earlier, Travis White, he's just one of those guys that does not back out. Once he sees a gap, he's going to go and feel it. What an incredible move by that 23. He's able to take that 3rd spot away. As I was saying, these sim shots guys were just trying, they were super hard to pass. He goes ahead and passes to him.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we are going to do something that we don't want to forget to do, and that is the JKR Motorsports Crank It Up here on 3Y TV. So turn up the volume back at home. We're going to crank up the audio off the trucks, and we'll be right back here. Enjoy the JKR Motorsports Crank It Up. All right, folks. That means turn down all the way. Yeah, things have happened while we were in the JKR Motorsports Crank It Up. Big shout out to our friends over at JKR Motorsports for the Crank It Up. We had a couple of drivers come down pit road, including Andrew Himmelman in the number 8 machine. You see him right there, who unfortunately slipped through his pit box. Absolute disaster for the number 8 SimShots machine. We also saw I believe, Shane Ledoux in the threat level midnight machine come down pit road. But unfortunately for Shane Ledoux, things were worse off than even Andrew Himmelman. Speeding penalty for the number 12 machine on pit road. He's getting wound back up, but a 47-second pit stop for that driver right there. That is going to be tough to overcome, JT. You think he's going to need a couple of cautions, perhaps, to overcome that setback here in the closing 16 laps.
Yeah, it's even worse when you get the speeding penalty because you know it's your fault, and you know usually whenever it's like you can have an excuse for anything else, but when it's a speeding penalty, you know it's your fault. I always find a way to come up with an excuse, but you know some of these drivers, once you get a penalty that you cause, it's just one of the worst feelings ever.
Yeah, I've done it. You know, you hate it being your own fault. You know, we all let our racing egos get to us at times, and you just don't want to. You don't want to get the speeding penalty on pit road. You don't want to slide through your pit box. And now to make things worse, Andrew Himmelman, while we were doing the JKR Motorsports Crank It Up, we said we were really surprised that Andrew Himmelman didn't come down pit road with his teammates. Well, now he A, went through his pit box, slid through his pit box, but B, the one truck that he did come down pit road with, which was Shane Ledoux, he got a speeding penalty. So now, all of a sudden, Andrew Himmelman, who thought maybe coming down pit road early was a good idea, he's kind of out there on the racetrack. I wouldn't say he's all by himself because he's got Garrett Gleason back there, Jason Shue, but these are not the trucks that he was expecting to be running with when he came off pit road. So we'll see how that shakes out for the driver of the number 8 machine, who still has the fastest lap of the race here tonight at a 49.98. But we're watching the lead pack continuing to be led by John Cannizzaro, and really, no one's really attempted to get past Cannizzaro.
I believe they're pitting this time. I saw some drivers keying up on the radios. We see the Simbach trucks. They're going to duck down a pit road. Travis White and Doug Neal. Man, he really got in hot. I wonder if he'll get a speeding penalty and leave his teammate all by himself. But Travis White, he's really pushing the limits on that pit entry.
Yeah, and they both overshot their pit box. Man. So we saw it out of Andrew Himmelman, and now the number 23 and the number 77 did it. Doug Neal looks like they're free of the speeding penalty. That's the good news, so they'll get off pit road. But now the big question is going to be your race leader, John Cannizzaro, Colin Ullery, Mitchell Adams, John Doble in the mix as well. You see Jeffrey Vickery, Mike Floppy Tellier, although Vickery is currently being scored one lap down. He is in the JRS Mobile Detailing Lucky Dog Award position. He pitted on lap number 38, so he should not need to come down pit road this time. Get him back on the lead lap. But what about Cannizzaro? Here they come. Leaders coming to pit road this time. Everyone trying to find a little bit of contact. And there's a blockage on pit road. We don't really have a good camera angle of that one, unfortunately, folks. But yeah, my oh my, that has gone terribly wrong.
We were just talking about how Colin Ullery was having such a great race. Now this was helping his championship hopes, but Mike Tellier just got in too hot and got into his quarter panel. Oh no.
Yeah, let's see. Looking out back here, Tellier, very, very hot. There's the contact, there's the nudge. And unfortunately, Colin Ullery goes around on pit road, and Mike Floppy Tellier also big problems for the Canadian driver. We'll kind of get and see what happened to him. Also problems for Mitchell Adams. He got caught up in this mess as well. So let's see what happened here to the number 97. There's a yellow cone and a wall right there. And then Mitchell Adams in the number 49 machine.
He got stuck in the wall. He had a toe.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely disastrous for Mitchell Adams. Of course, he's not going for the championship or by any means, but let's see what happened to him. And then after this, we'll go back live. Of course, this happened on pit road. Yep, got stuck in the wall right there. Could not get out. So you like you said, had to take a tow, and that is going to change the complexion of this race entirely. As we're live now, John Doble in the number 3 machine just now getting up to speed. He is your race leader as they run. John Cannizzaro, however, is at speed in the Mopar Chevrolet, trying to run down John Doble. But this is going to be the pass for the race lead here with 11 laps to go. Doble trying to slide up the racetrack. You're going to see Doble slice up the racetrack to try and pick up the draft. And it looks like Doble just about will pick up the draft. And then out back, it's Andrew Himmelman through all that madness, Himmelman up to third, and he's got a couple of teammates back behind him. He's got the Simbox trucks, and that might be good there for Himmelman. In fact, all three of these trucks, because they're relatively close, they can draft together and try and close in on the front two.
Yeah, and as of now, Canizar, he's just a sitting duck right now. He has no help behind him. We can see Doble, he has draft from that Stephen Ford machine. He's starting to close up. I think Canizar is starting to lay off a little just to get John Doble to his bumper. Further back, we can see the three-car tandem of Himmelman, Travis White, and Doug Neal. They're going to be catching these guys really quick, and we'll see a pass for the lead very soon.
And Mitchell Adams, because he was basically on pit road when he had to tow, it was not a long tow, so he's technically, as of right now, on the lead lap. But that's about to change very, very quickly, as Mitchell Adams is now one lap down in the number 49 machine. So he's going to have to get that JR's Mobile Detailing Lucky Dog Award at some point here tonight to get himself back in the fray. But we're coming to just 9 laps to go, and with the field broken up like this, the chances of having a caution flag are dropping pretty quickly.
Yeah, further back around the three-car tandem, Stephen Ford got in the wall. I thought there was going to be a caution brought out there, but he's able to keep it together and get it off that wall. But no, this race, it's going to be a very close one because we have this three-car package. We can see Doug Neal got very loose as he went into turn number 1. They're starting to catch Mitchell Adams. I'm sure he'll join their group of 3 cars and make that 4. They'll catch this group of 2 even quicker. But John Canizaro, he's been fast. He's been hard to pass all race long. But right now, John Doble, he might be thinking, you know, these guys are guaranteed to catch us, so I might as well just try and make a pass for the lead right here.
So what we'll see, because you can see your leaders out front there, this is how that gap has shrunk over the last 3 laps. So you can see at one point it was almost 5 seconds 3 laps ago. Now it was down to 2.6, and you can see the number up at the top of the graphic, down to just 1.1 seconds. And with Himmelman now very much in the draft range of John Doble, that gap will just continue to shrink. John Doble says, you know what, I'm going to try and use this opportunity, like you said, JT, to try and get to the race lead before Himmelman even gets to him. But you would think that Doble here will try and get the race lead as quick as he can, because if he can get a little bit of help from the number 8 of Himmelman, that would propel him to the race lead. Although Himmelman, here he is. Himmelman looking to the inside here, down the backstretch, and ooh, one car having connection issues, still having connection issues. That was Andrew Himmelman, and Himmelman's going to drop back in the number 8 truck because of that issues that he was experiencing there.
The good thing is he's going to be able to pick up help from Doug Neal, which is a very cool move on Andrew's half, you know, getting out the way, he's having connection issues, and then not only that, but it's a pretty smart move because now he's going to be the one with a huge run as they catch leaders.
So Canizaro leads. We're down to just 7 more laps to go here at Monza. Doble in second. Third spot is Travis White, then Andrew Himmelman, Doug Neal. This is your top 5 trying to battle it out for the checkered flag here tonight, barring any more caution flags. Good news for Colin Ullery fans is he's still in the 6th position. He is still set to walk away with the points lead here tonight. It's Matthew Rodriguez, as I say that, Rodriguez just made a pass on Mike Floppy Tellier, so I think Rodriguez would hold on to the race lead if things were able to hold as they were. But you saw Himmelman, a spirited effort up the inside, but no drafting help down there, and he's going to slide all the way back behind Doug Neal. But Neal now behind his teammate Travis White, and we know Travis White's one of those drivers who tries to go hard for the race lead, and here he comes to the number 23 machine, but his teammate's not going with him. There we go. There's Doug Neal.
He tried to take a look to the inside, but Doble with a great block to hold him off, and it worked very well for him. I'm thinking, though, Travis White in these coming laps, he's going to make something happen. I will not be surprised if he's able to find his way to the front, because not only that is he just a very talented driver at these super speedways, but he has help from his teammate Doug Neal, so we can see them trying to take a look to the inside as here comes John Doble.
Doble to the inside. Travis White stays tucked up behind John Canizaro. Andrew Himmelman in the number 8 machine now trying to figure out where to go. Doug Neal in the number 77 also can't figure out where to go. Neal's now going to slide back to the 5th spot. Himmelman now back up into 3rd. Travis White in 2nd. Canizaro continuing to lead. We got 5 more laps this time by as I go across the start-finish line here on the front stretch. It's kind of an odd start-finish line here at this racetrack because there's a couple of start-finish lines at this racetrack on the front stretch. You have to figure out which one's the right one at this particular oval. As, whoa, John Doble in the number 3 machine. Something must have happened to him. Not sure if he clipped the wall or something, but he is now well back behind the number 77 of Doug Neal. possibly in danger here of losing that lead pack.
Yeah, but early in this race we saw many guys that are able to use that bottom, but recently we've seen them, they've tried to go to the bottom, they just can't run any speed, and I'm wondering if as this race has gone on, that rubber started to build up on that inside, and it's gotten really, really slick. So if we see a pass for the lead, maybe a fake move to the inside and move back to the outside might be the race winner here.
And you see your leaders catching, oh, Travis White in the wall. That was a biggie, still trying to save that number 23 machine. Finally able to do so. Looks like that will allow John Doble to definitely catch back up to this lead pack, but that pole vaults Andrew Himmelman now up into second.
Oh no, Canizaro!
Yeah, Canizaro.
He got blocked by the lap graphic that really backed him up into his teammate Himmelman. As here comes Travis White to the inside. He's trying to find a gap. He's going to get held up as well.
Yeah, Canizaro caught Shane Ledoux at the wrong spot on the racetrack. So that will break up your front few just a little bit. Canizaro continuing to hold on to the race lead. Just 3.5 laps to go as they head down the backstretch here. 190 miles an hour going off into turn number 3. You still see Andrew Himmelman right there. And what a turnaround it has been for Andrew Himmelman. At one point here tonight, 1 lap down, got that JR's Mobile Detailing Lucky Dog Award back onto the lead lap and trying to pick up the win here in the GTR Simulator Superspeedway Series. The MaxGrafix.co 165 presented by Total Nonstop Racing here on 3 Wide TV. 3 more laps to go, and Garrett Gleason in the number 7 says, you know what, I'm going to stay out of the way of these leaders. Let them all race it out here to the checkered flag.
I'm just wondering why Himmelman didn't take that look to the inside. He had such an opportunity to take the lead right there. Maybe he wasn't close enough, or he's just trying to stay there on his teammate. Maybe he just wants to sit there and wait for the last lap to make his move, because when you're leading in these late race situations, you're just a sitting duck, and you have these teammates doing this, but once it's the last lap, all bets are off, and everybody wants to go for that win.
Coming to 2 laps to go. Travis White, the number 23 back there, going to duck back behind his teammate. Caution flag is out. You're right. Hearing it's the number 49 machine of Mitchell Adams who blown a motor. Motor grenaded on the number 49 machine. That was after that contact with the wall. Tried to pull off the racetrack all the way down to the inside of the track. But he came to a complete halt, and iRacing felt that that was enough to bring out the caution flag. And does that change everything? I believe, yes, it does. We're going to have a green-white checker, which we call the Beer Street Journal Overtime here in the National Sim Racing Association. Big shout out to our friends over at Beer Street Journal, beerstreetjournal.com. There's a link in the description if you want to check out some stories about some craft beer and support one of the supporters here of the National Sim Racing Association. But it's going to be last call attempt number 1 here, JT.
Yeah, and this is huge for Matthew Rodriguez and Colin O'Leary. This is their opportunity to make up even more spots and try and alter the course of this championship run. It's Mitchell Adams, he's taking it to the garage. There's no chance, and they don't even have any time to fix that truck. But this is going to be it looks like a 9-car shootout for the win here.
So just to update you guys on the lead lap trucks here, as Garrett Gleason in the number 7 will actually pick up our Lucky Dog Award brought to you by JR's Mobile Detailing. So he will be the 10th truck on the lead lap. So that will give us John Canizaro, who's led a majority of the race here tonight, picked up the Bamauto Pole Award at the beginning of the show. Andrew Himmelman is, of course, in second. Doug Neal in third, who is currently the biggest mover of the race. The MaxGrafix.co hard charger would currently be Doug Neal. Of course, got to plug tonight's race sponsor as Andrew Himmelman's on pit road. John Doble's on pit road. Travis White stays out. Interesting calls here. I'm thinking Andrew Himmelman probably thought, you know what, maybe I need some tires to try and make some passes, but he again overshoots his pit box. Not been a good night of Andrew Himmelman getting to pit road. There's Jeffrey Vickery coming down. So 4. Here comes Matthew Rodriguez, Mike Floppy Tellier. So that's going to make 5 of our lead lap trucks, coming down pit road to get fresh tires. And I don't blame him. It seems like it's really difficult to pass on the inside. Matthew Rodriguez completely blowing through his pit box. Tellier did a good job of getting into his box, but you see all the damage on that truck accrued in that pit road incident that we saw there probably about 15 laps ago.
Yeah, and remember, Peter, Andrew Himmelman and Jeffrey Vicker, they pitted many laps before the rest of the field, so I'm wondering if they were a little short on fuel for this overtime. And so, maybe they just had to come down to get fuel, and while they're at it, get some tires to try and get that bottom lane to work.
And I think that's what you're going to have to do, because I'm wondering if it's, we talked about it at the top of the show. The right front camber is all jacked up here. And so I'm wondering if that is kind of coming into effect. Maybe you're not getting enough grip down there on the bottom side of the racetrack to really pull off a pass unless you have fresh tires. We have seen some side-by-side racing when these drivers are on fresh, brand new tires. And I'm just wondering if that's going to happen. Now, I think here, bad news for Andrew Hillman. I think he got a penalty of some sort because he's slow and off the pace here on the back straight. Waiting, I think, for Matthew Rodriguez to pass him. Same thing with Mike Floppy Tellier. So I think that's going to be bad news for Himmelman. There you see him lose that spot to Matthew Rodriguez. So Himmelman, if he's going to want to win this race, he's going to have to come from deep in this pack. But, you know, cautions might not be over yet here at JT. We might have another Beer Street Journal last call. We have up to 2 attempts here in the GTR Simulator Superspeedway Series. It's going to be really interesting to see whether or not that happens and whether or not we get any chaos like we had last time we were here at Monza Oval.
Yeah, Peter, but I'm also wondering, we talked about it earlier in the show, the bug with iRacing going on right now. Once you get a penalty, like an EOL penalty, earlier on the race, it follows you throughout the whole race. So I'm wondering if Andrew Himmelman picked up that penalty early. Oh, Travis White into the wall on the pace laps.
Well, I've seen funnier things happen here at this racetrack. In fact, exactly that has happened here at the racetrack. Let's see what happened here to Travis White.
Right there.
Yeah, here we go. On the 3Y TV replay. He's got some left side damage, and yeah. Oof.
Oh, that's a big hit. I'm sure that's... I'm going to go on board with this visor cam here and see if that he has any RPM loss. He's clutching it in right now, and it definitely looks like he's low, about maybe 50 horsepower. Usually these trucks idle around 1180, but right now on that tachometer, it looks like he's around that 1100 range.
Yeah, just slam into the wall. Unforced error. Not sure what that was about. Maybe... You know, maybe someone jumped up. I've heard stories of cats jumping on people's lap, dogs jumping on people's laps while racing. It surely looked like something like that happened because that was 100% an unforced error, straight into the wall. And you can see just evening out that front end of that truck, he now has left side damage and right side damage. But I'm sure he could have done without that right side damage. How's that going to affect the number 23 machine? And how does that affect the chances of Doug Neal in the 78 truck there? To his outside, number 78 on the scoring pylon, number 77 on the side of that truck. Because Doug Neal, that's his teammate, Travis, in number 23 of Travis White. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all sorts out. Now, John Cannizzaro is electing to take the high line to pick up Colin Ullery for this restart. So now Doug Neal's going to be with his teammate, Travis White. We don't know what the damage is like on White's car, but then there's another whole bunch of trucks down there on the inside line because they are trucks that have end of longest line penalties. This is going to be a wild restart here in the Beer Street Journal last call.
You know, maybe Travis White is trying to knock that right front tire in and get some camber in the right direction going. So who knows? But I'm sure that's going to be a one heavily damaged truck because we're stacking it up. We're going overtime racing.
Here we go. iRacing pace car gonna go straight off to the left. There it goes. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to figure out the winner here tonight in the MaxGraphics.co 165 presented by Total Nonstop Racing here in the National Sim Racing Association. A little bit of wheel spin out of the back of the number 77 Simbox machine right there. And that's going to allow Colin Ullery and John Cannizzaro to get the lead as they head off into turn number 1. Everyone able to make it to turn number 1. But does John Cannizzaro have too big of a lead here as here comes Doug Neal?
Doug Neal's lined up single file, but we can see Colin Ullery laying back. He's going to pick up help from the 21 of Jeffrey Vickery or not. He's going to take a look to the inside as they come off of 2.
Jeffrey Vickery in the threat level midnight number 21 machine, trying to go for third, trying to get around the number 62 of Colin Ullery. Looks like he's done so. Looks like Doug Neal going to come down in front of that number 21 of Jeffrey Vickery. Vickery was just on pit road, and Doug Neal to the race lead. We're coming to the white flag right now. Look at Andrew Himmelman down there, and contact between the 77 and the John Cannizzaro. My, oh my, they're really racing as we come to the white flag.
Here we go, 1 more lap to go. No flags to end this race besides the checker. Jeffrey Vickery tries to go to the outside. Doug Neal throws the block. They're side by side for third. John Cannizzaro and Colin Ullery. He gets a run. He's going to take a peek to the inside for second. He has up behind from the number 3. John Doe wants to make contact with John Cannizzaro. He's into the outside wall. They make contact with William Kirwan. Or sorry, not William Kirwan. Matthew Rodriguez as they're racing out in front for the win.
And more contact between the 62, John Doble, 62 up and over. That's Colin Ullery, who's on his roof.
Oh no.
Another car on the last lap kills the inside wall. It happens here, folks. It happened again.
Front, John Doble is closing. Doble's closing on Doug Neal. Can he get the run out of 4?
That's the question that we have to ask. Can John Doble pull the move here in the Diablo F-150? We're coming out of the final corner, coming to the start-finish line. Doble goes high. Neal gets loose. There's contact. They're going around, and John Doble doing donuts across the start-finish line. And who wins? Who wins? I think Rodriguez.
Who won?
I think Rodriguez wins.
Rodriguez won. Rodriguez wins.
His 4th win again this season.
Oh my goodness.
Doing barrel rolls. Barrel rolls. Across the start-finish line.
What a finish.
What a
Hamilton
finish.
takes the 3rd spot. Vickery wasn't able to cross the line. Oh no.
I'm trying to...
Hamilton out of nowhere picks up 3rd.
Well, guys...
Oh my... What a finish.
In all my years of racing, I have never seen this before. This is the race-winning move right here. That's how you get the job done. Barrel rolling, upside down, keeping your foot in it. No damage, keep going.
Now, folks, go ahead. A couple days from now, I'm sure SimShots will have an amazing photo of your race winner flying across the start-finish line. As we take one more look at it,
Yep.
I'm sure that that flagman got very scared as there's a car flag.
It just barely doesn't take out the flagman, but I have never.
Have you ever?
No, I have never, JT. I have never. In all my years of sim racing, which goes back 14 years, I have never seen someone do a barrel roll to win the race. And not only that, lands on all 4 wheels.
Now, I can't do any burnouts, but I think his flyby on the towers was good enough.
That is something else. That is something else. We just one more time, folks. Just launches up into the air skillfully. Start finish line. We're gonna have to pause it on the start finish line, I think. And there. Well, I went too far past. But that's it. That's your race winning move right there. I've never seen it. And look at Andrew Himmelman trying to slice his way on through. Doug Neal's up in the air. He's gonna come across with a top 3. Wow.
We also got to point out how lucky they were to not end up in the pit lane and get an unsafe pit entrance penalty.
That's true too. Now, I'm going to have to go back. I need to figure out what happened to Shane Ledoux because, you know, Shane Ledoux, this is quintessential last lap here. It almost had me dying of laughter at that point. But here, Colin Willery going upside down and boom.
That's a very scary sight.
That's the Jason Shue move. Jason Shue, Shane Ledoux move. And then look at, speaking of Jason Shue, look at him.
Barely squeezing by.
Yeah, just barely squeezing by. What happened to Jason Shue right there? I don't know. That one's going to go down in the record books.
This track has produced some incredible races this season. Folks, after this broadcast, please go back and watch the race from there earlier this season. It was one of the most incredible finishes that I think we can both say ever on 3YTV, if not iRacing.
Yep, that one, man, oh man, that is interesting. Now, what we might be seeing here, folks, so we're actually gonna kill the ticker up at the top of your screen. Well, I wanted to kill the ticker up the top of the screen. The program said no. It does this. I don't know why it gets temperamental, but it does get temperamental. I can't fix it. Unfortunately, it's stuck there. So I'm going to pull up these results because these results are technically the iRacing official results. And just sorry for how things get overlaid. It kind of works out. But Matthew Rodriguez takes the win by 1/4 of a second. Himmelman's going to slice home to finish 3rd. John Doble flipping and barrel rolling finishes 4th. John Cannizzaro, 5th, 22 seconds behind your race leader. Then Colin Overy, Jeffrey Vickery, rounding out your top 7. Then Garrett Gleason, 1 lap down. Travis White back there. Mike Floppy Tellier also 1 lap down. Then Stephen Ford, Shane Ledoux, Jason Shue, Mitchell Adams, William Kirwan, Evan Gilbert, Kyle Lewis, Stephen Doziak. So we need to dial up our post-race interviews with our top 3 finishers of Rodriguez, Neal, and Himmelman. I don't
Colin
know.
Ullery, after flipping, was able to race back to the line and have a photo finish with Jeffrey Vickery for 6th place. No, the gap over just 1/100th of a second.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It is going to be some fun and exciting interviews here, folks. You do not want to miss them. So let's get rid of that graphic right there. Go back to the way it was, and let's see if we can pull in tonight's 3rd place finisher, John Doble. Well, I thought we could pull in John Doble. Where's John Doble?
Himmelman finished 3rd. Doble's in 4th.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. The timing up at the top of the screen's all screwed up. All right, let's talk with Andrew Himmelman here in the number 8 machine. Was at one point 1 lap down, picked up the JR's Mobile Detailing Lucky Dog Award, got back on the lead lap, and really fought for it there at the end, Andrew. Coming up a little bit short, just a couple hundredths of a second, all things considered, but I don't think you can be too upset because what you saw out the front of your number 8 Sim Shots truck will go down in National Sim Racing Association Superspeedway Series history. That's for sure.
Yeah, I actually didn't see the car flipping. I honestly, I thought we had it. I thought we won when we crossed the start finish. I thought we had got there first, but little did I know there was a car flipping over the start finish. But we really had to. There was a bug in the game right now, and we got it early on when we got the lucky dog. So we just had to keep going to the back every single caution. In which I wasn't happy when we got a caution with those last 2 laps because I was kind of short on fuel, but it wasn't going to matter if I pit or didn't pit. I was going to have to go to the back, so I was just going to go ahead and make sure. So really to fight from that and get back up to 3rd and survive those last laps. It really gets you. Your desire for this series goes up when you can survive the wrecks. This was fun. It was much more fun than I thought I would have. Not something you usually race, so something different, and it was pretty fun.
It definitely was an interesting race here tonight. That's for sure. And, all things considered, a strong finish for you. What have been your thoughts about racing here at Monza Oval? I think they've probably put together 2 of the most iconic races, not only in 3-wide TV history, but probably in series history as well. But it's just a wild racetrack.
Yeah, it really is. You don't see these cars going there, and this is why. You get these insane runs. The turning right was pretty weird. The car it wasn't unstable, but it definitely wasn't a easy one to handle, especially coming out of turn 4. There was a little bump, and if you hit that bump wrong, I think we actually saw that where they wrecked. They hit the bump wrong, and it turned someone else. So, it was really fun. But this is a super speedway when you were turning right that you really actually had to perform some of your ability too. And I'm not saying others don't, but this one really got the most out of you, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Well, next week we go to Talladega Superspeedway for the penultimate round of the season. A little bit easier on you next week at Talladega Superspeedway. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that'll be pretty fun. Some back to generic Superspeedway, something that we do normally, regularly. And I think next week in the truck series on Friday nights we go to Daytona. So back-to-back Superspeedway nights. We always like to race on Friday nights, which tomorrow night Charlotte. So we're looking forward to next week. You just got to have some luck go your way, and anything can happen.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, Andrew, any shout-outs?
Yeah, you guys for broadcasting. JT for broadcasting. We got him last minute, so the whole SimShots racing team, that was a lot of fun. We worked together nicely. So them, SimShots, GTR, Butt Kicker, my family for letting me race, my grandfather for watching, and that's all I got.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Andrew, great run for the number 8 machine here late in the race, and we'll see you next week at Talladega.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll let him go on back to his group. Now, we are trying to get interview here with Doug Neal, but I do think Doug has had to bounce out. So I don't think we're going to get a interview with tonight's runner-up, unfortunately. So, JT, you get the honors of interviewing tonight's race winner, Matthew Rodriguez.
Matthew Rodriguez, it's JT from the 3YTB. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, you had a, I would say, interesting race. A lot of things I would say not really going your way towards the start and in the middle of that race, but you're just able to find something at the end there. And I just want to ask, how was that finish?
I mean, I know you guys don't have the kind of the audio for the race chat on broadcast, and that's probably a good thing because I wasn't the happiest of campers. So when we came down to that final lap in the white flag, I pretty much was waiting for that giant accident, but I told myself, all right, go time, we got to go. And of course, when I finally said go time, I start wrecking in one, and my heart sank, and I was like, all right, this is how it ends. This is how I lose the points lead and everything else. And no, it was a lucky bounce off of one of the Mopar cars. Bounced off of him, kept it straight, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I live for another day. And then I saw Vickery get a little bit of help from thinking that was Doug. Vickery hit the wall, came back down the track, and took out Colin. I was like, oh, great, Colin's involved in this. That's going to be good for points. Then I saw Colin come down the track, like, uh-oh, that's not going to be good for points. Missed him barely, and I was like, oh, yeah, top 3, I got this. Top 3, that's a good points day. I can work on this. And then we got to the straightaway, and I have Garrett Gleason yelling in my ear, they're wrecking, go, go, go. And when I saw both of them coming across the track, like, all right, they're aiming for me. There's no way I'm going to miss this. So tried finding a lane, and of course ran into him, and my immediate reaction was anger, like, man, what are we doing? Because I'm not even going to finish the race. And when I landed and I started micing up the voice chat, and I screamed, what are you guys doing? And I noticed P1, I hear Garrett screaming in the background. I was like, oh, I guess I won this.
You were talking a lot about points there. We're heading to Talladega next week with I would say not a comfortable points lead, but somewhere where you can kind of lay back on something if something does happen. What are your thoughts on not only next week, but the final round?
I think there may be some angry people after this, but I cannot wait to get back to an actual track. I mean, this setup was absolutely garbage. It was terrible. I've never been at a track where I've got to pit lane and they've changed out my tires, and my left rear tire was at 400 degrees. I was constantly afraid that this car was going to wreck itself in the corner. Left rear was going to blow out. Under braking, I mean, it was like frozen chicken as wheels. I mean, you'd hit the brakes and the thing would skip and hobble, and it would never stop, and that's what caused a lot of the incidents. So I cannot wait to get back to a good track where, I mean, there's a proven setup, and you know, honestly, I can't wait to get back to, 4 or 5 lanes and not wall.
All right, well, congrats on your win, Matthew. Before you head out, you got anyone to shout out?
Obviously, like to shout out you guys. I heard JT did really good, so I cannot wait to hop into the replay and just listen to JT scream. Obviously, gotta give a shout out to Steak and Shake. Don't even know if don't even think they know I exist, but obviously half price milkshakes, 10 out of 10. I think I'm a little bit too late for that one. Everyone else at Radius Racing, all their related sponsors. The only one I can remember is GG Bracelets, because that was the weirdest sponsor I've ever seen. And Pigeon Racing, because they definitely helped me fly tonight.
Well, congrats on your win, Matthew. Hopefully you're back up in the booth next week when we head to Talladega.
Hopefully.
Well, I'm just gonna go back here, JT, and I'm gonna see if I can go back to when all the craziness broke out here on the front stretch, here on the final lap, and I'm just gonna see whether or not, just maybe, just maybe here. Let's see if we go on board. Here we go. This is the final lap. I'm just looking out front, and you know what I see on the front of that Steak and Shake machine? You see how
What do you see, Peter?
you know how they kind of look like wings there in the logo?
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe that helped him fly across the start-finish line.
I think that's what did it. I think that right there, the Steak and Shake wings, Matthew Rodriguez picked them up here tonight and used them and flew over the start-finish line. And folks, we have a graphic for this. The Kirwan Racing race winner award goes to this move right here. You won't see any sim racing move like it anywhere else on the planet. There goes your leaders. They're wrecking. They're spinning. They're flipping. Rodriguez keeps his foot in it, goes up in the wall, up and over the start-finish line. Victory lane, just like that. My, oh my. And not only that, but he's also our MaxGraphics.co Hard Charger of the Race Award, picking up 16 positions on his way to victory lane here tonight. What a show. What a finish. I hope we come back here to Monza Oval at some point here in the future, because this track, what a race. What a race.
Not only did we have an incredible finish for the win here at Monza, we had an incredible finish for the 6th spot between Colin O'Leary and Jeffrey Vickery. Maybe we can go back and take a look at that. But Colin O'Leary, after flipping numerous times down the back straightaway, he kept that truck running and was able to beat Jeffrey Vickery to the line to pick up yet another crucial spot for his points run for the championship.
Yeah, so let's go back. Let's see this content. There goes John Canizaro in the wall. And then beating and banging, they're all wrecking back there. And that was Travis White getting launched up into the stratosphere. In fact, and then the 62 goes around, and he hits the wall. Then he starts doing the flippings. I love it. I love just seeing a car impale the wall. I don't know why. But yeah, okay, so there goes John Canizaro slipping on through. There's Jason Shu. Let's go on board here. This is the battle between
Talladega Nights.
Yeah, this is the Battle of Talladega Nights. You're right. As you got the 21 there, Jeffrey Vickery, Colin O'Leary. These two trucks are broke, folks. Broken. You see O'Leary running the inside line because that's the shortest way around the racetrack. Smart move there by Colin. He was second place in points coming into tonight. Good news for Matthew Rodriguez, as he will extend his points lead going into the penultimate round next week at Talladega. But look at this battle. This is a battle for the 7th spot on the racetrack, and side by side, right to the line. O'Leary just barely able to hold on to that spot. I don't know if we can slow this one down here for you folks back at home. But let's see right here. Let's slow this down right about now. Go into the slow-mo cam and stop it. Nope. Play it.
Tricky.
There we go. That's as good. That tells the story right there. But just by a fraction of a truck was Colin O'Leary able to hold on to that spot. But what a wild finish.
I think the decider there was Jeffrey Vickery's nose being knocked in. I think if his nose was back in place, he may have been able to get that 6th spot from Colin.
Well, folks, definitely a wild one here tonight in the GTR Simulator Superspeedway series on 3Y TV. JT, thanks for being up here in the booth for calling a wild, wacky race. A lot of fun having you up here. Maybe you can make it up here into the booth. I know you like racing. I know you'll be racing tomorrow night in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, but if you ever want to jump up here in the booth, one of these GTR Simulator Superspeedway series races, feel free to.
Yeah, this was fun. I mean, what a race to be my first race to ever broadcast. This was an incredible race, and I'm sure maybe next week at Talladega I'll find my way up in the booth somehow again, and maybe I'll commentate there again. It was a pleasure being up here with you, Peter. I hope we put on a good show for the fans. I'm very certain we put on a good show for the fans, and hopefully I'm up here tomorrow after I hopefully get a top 3 at the race in Charlotte.
Absolutely, that's right. Tomorrow night, Charlotte Motor Speedway, the cutoff race. It is I believe it's the Penny Dudley Memorial 240 here tomorrow night on 3Y TV. That is going to be one heck of a race. You don't want to miss it. Always putting on a good show here in the National Sim Racing Association for all the fans back at home. But yeah, crazy night. Big shout out to our sponsors, of course, GTR Simulator for sponsoring the series, MaxGraphics.co for sponsoring tonight's race, along with Total Nonstop Racing. Catch them on Monday nights here on 3Y TV. Other series sponsors, of course, Bam Auto sponsoring the Pole Award at the top of the night. There's a link in the description to them. JR's Mobile Detailing Lucky Dog Award, JKR Motorsports and their Crank It Up, MaxGraphics.co, and of course, Beer Street Journal. That Beer Street Journal last call definitely put on a show. But for myself, JT Poole, everyone else in the 3Y TV family, folks, stay safe, and we shall see ya.